Stanford University.
I'd love to get your reaction to another theme that seems to dominate sort of our common dialogue. And it's this notion that we are living in a post-racial age because we've elected President Obama, or that we're living in a, I guess, post-gender and post-sexist world because women have been able to achieve the levels of success that you have, Miriam. What's your reaction to that? Are we really post-racial?
Yeah, I think whoever believes that needs to get off of the crack pipe. Get off of it. Let it give it alternative. There's no doubt that we have made magnificent progress in the face of the vicious legacy of white supremacy and the shaping of the experiment called the USA. There's no doubt about that. But simply because we're less racist doesn't mean we're post-racial. We've got magnificent younger generation who move across racial boundaries in ways that those of us who grew up under gut bucket Jim Crow American aegis never conceived of. That when we formed Sativa, we didn't conceive of a black man in the White House, a White House primarily built by black slaves. We didn't think about that at all. But one thing we did recognize was that what we were willing to live for and what we were willing to die for was not just a set of successful Negroes in high places. So that we knew that no matter how high a black man or woman went, to be head of American Express, to be in the White House, to be president of Stanford. That's a beautiful thing, but that's not the fulfillment of Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. That's a fulfillment, but not the. Because the fulfillment has to do with not just piercing the top of the glass ceiling, but it's those stuck in the basement.
I think one of the things that's missing here is class, actually.
Yeah.
I have to say, there was a point in time when I realized that the biggest barrier I had to my success was the class I was born into and not the color of my skin and not my gender. So it was really about poverty. Because of poverty, I didn't have certain experiences that made it easy for me to engage in certain social circles and certain academic circles, and I didn't have the background that I would need to engage in certain intellectual discussions. It wasn't my innate ability per se, but the fact that because of having arrived in the world in a particular class, I just had so little exposure to certain kinds of things.
That's right.
So for me, I think that was one of my crucial learnings. And in part, I did it here at Stanford because I remember thinking, boy, you know, this doctor's daughter and I, we just have nothing in common. She's brown or minority or whatever, but we don't really click at some level. And I thought a lot of things were my race or my language or whatever. And later on, I realized it was really my class.
For more, please visit us at stanford.edu.